Hi, here's Klaas Nienhuis, and today I want to show you in this video how to create mosaic materials based on images. So to go from this image to this image, and I'm using BerconTiles for that. So let's do this. I've got a piece of geometry set up, a plane of 100 by 150 units, and my units are centimeters in this case, so 1.5 meter. And well, let's create a material. Let's fire up the material editor. I'm using standard material, but you can use V-Ray or Mental Ray or whatever you like. So first, let's set up the tiles for the mosaic. I'm going to use a BerconTile map for that. And I already discussed this in another video, which I will link to in the description. But just quickly, you need to have a set of mapping coordinates for the tiles, because if I render this now, I've got one piece of a tile here with a rounded corner. It's pretty weird. So you need to have UV map modifier, and to make it easy on you, set the size, the length and the width to 1 by 1, and switch the map channel to 2, and also switch the map channel on the BerconTile to 2. And what happens now is that if you want to know what the size of your tiles is going to be, you just multiply the size of the map modifier with the tile sizes here. So that's 1 times 4 and 1 times 2. So keeping this 1 makes it easy on you. So now I will get tiles of 2 by 4, which is nice, but I can hardly see what I'm doing, so I'm going to make this 10 by 10. And I'm going to add a little edge here because, well, mosaic have edges. Maybe 0.4. And let's render this again. Okay, well, nice tiles. And well, let's move on. I need to have the bitmap, so I'm going to add it in here. And where's my pig? Here. And of course, you don't need to use a pig. You can also use other images. I'm also going to show you how to use procedurals. So I've got my pig set up here, and it sits here. Let's see what. Okay, well, this is not what I want. This is a mosaic, but I want to have solid colors in each tile. So how do I get that? Well, there's a nice option for that. It is called Enable Center Mapping. Plop. And there's a channel here. Right, what does that do? You need to make sure that this channel is the same as the map channel in your bitmap. But they should be different than the main map channel of the UVW mapping coordinate. So I've got map channel 2 set up here, so I will use map channel 1 here. Well, why not? So I also need to set this to 1. Right, so this should be it, right? Okay, here comes, well, is it a bug, a workaround, a weird thing? You need to fix the tiling on the bitmap. And there's no way to do this with a UVW map modifier. You have to really do it with the tiling. So my tiling is set to 1 by 1 here, which actually well, I don't know, but I need to set it to, let's pin this, I need to set it to the inverse of the length and the width of my the size of the plane. So press Ctrl N to get a calculator. So this has to be 1 by 150, 1 divided by 150, and this has to be 1 divided by 100. I knew that by heart, but anyway. So this should be it. There we go. A mosaic. So this is really a weird thing. You have to fiddle with these tiling properties, but then you get a nice mosaic. And mosaics with smaller tiles are also nice to look at, so let's try that. Well, here you go. Here's my pig. I've got a slight edge here, which actually should belong here, so I can either adjust the tiling or the offset. You don't have to use this kind of bond or pattern. You can also use a herringbone, which is nice. So you can use all the tiling patterns which are in here. It's also nice to use procedural maps as the base for our mosaic. For instance, in this case, we could have a noise map. So let's see how to do this. Let's start with noise. Here it is, and let's plug this in. Well, let's check it out. This doesn't work by default. In my experience, it's good to set the source to an explicit map channel, which again should be the same map channel as the one you've set here with center mapping. So that's channel 1 and channel 1. And for a noise map, you don't have to tweak the tiling, but you can tweak the size. So first let's check this. I can't really see, but it looks as if the size is really big. Let's set it to 5. Lucky shot. Maybe 3 or maybe 10. 10 looks nice. 10. Okay, here we go. 15. And I'm going to increase the contrast a little bit so we get these nice splotches, the islands of darkness. Islands of darkness, of course. And there we go. So mosaic based on a procedural texture. We can also use a gradient. I'm showing you a normal gradient, but of course there's also the Bercon gradient. Gradient ramp. Let's plug that in. Although this is a procedural, it has a standard mapping channel already set up. And in this case, we again have to tweak the tiling. So our bitmap was tiling 007 and 01. Let's do the same here. 007 01, and just to make it visible, I'm going to switch this to tartan, and there we go. So we've got dark edges like the tartan gradient map ramp, and if I'm going to make the size of this one a little bit bigger, it's going to be clearer. So instead of using a bitmap, you can also use procedural maps as a base for your mosaic. Keep in mind you always have to use an explicit map channel when you're doing that. Okay, have fun.